Fighting Illini won the toss. Wisconsin wins the toss. Illinois will receive the kick. The Badgers deciding to defer. And so we will see Luke Altmaier in the Illinois offense out here first. Luke Altmaier. So Altmaier in the gun to open this thing up. 3 receivers, and he's going to get it out complete to Colin Dixon for that first completion. Ricardo Hallman, one of those seniors. So 2 yards on first down when we get an early start here. JVR Suggs crossing the line of scrimmage. See if he was drawn offsides. Cole Knippel, our official.
31. With contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Get the opposing D-line to jump off sides.
Khalil Valentine will get the first carry, and he is brought down almost immediately. And Allegro is out there right now in a 3rd down situation for that Wisconsin Badger defense. 3rd and 2 here for Luke Altmaier. Good protection, and he's got it complete. It's Hudson Clement. They'll move the sticks early here, get that first down of the game. 8-yard gain on that 3rd down conversion. Back to the air goes Altmaier. Again, pretty good protection, working right to left and then back to the right side. And he's got it complete. It's Davin Stoffel, the tight end. Often on this first possession, it's Valentine back in now. He'll get the carry on first down, and he is brought down. Ball of the season last week in that win over Maryland. Altmaier on 2nd down, has it intercepted. Matt Young comes up with the pick for the Wisconsin defense as he was going to the ground, caught it twice. Tip of the ball did end up touching the ground, so the interception was overturned. Would have been Altmaier's 6th of the season and first for Young.
It's narrowly bounced on the ground there as he was trying to corral it.
And so the takeaway comes off the board in a 3rd and 9 for Luke Altmaier. Again, pretty good protection, but he moves out to his left, and eventually the protection breaks down. Daryl Peterson in there was able to jump on it, so a low snap on the punt. Pretty good job fielding it there by Keelan Crimmins. And Illinois not able to down that in the field. The play bounces through the end zone. And so Carter Smith, the true freshman quarterback from Florida, will give it to Tretch Kahuna on an end around, and that ball came out. All right, so a gain of 6 in the 2nd and 4 for Carter Smith. Gonna take to the air, and protection breaks down, and he goes down. Was the first true freshman to start at quarterback for the Badgers since 1991, last week at Indiana. Nice completion on 3rd down, and he's going to get right to the 30-yard line, which looks like all they need to get the first down. That is Eugene Hilton Jr., former NFL receiver T.Y. Hilton.
All right.
And it's Darrion Dupree, and Dupree is a nice gain. Going to go just then the offense he was really installing for Billy Edwards, who was the week 1 starter for these Wisconsin Badgers. Carter Smith now the 4th quarterback to start this season. 4th game this group has played together. Feels like they're starting to gel a little bit. So they got a big 3rd down here. And they're gonna run it on 3rd down, and they're gonna pick up the first down with Darrion Dupree. All right, so a fresh set of downs here. In about the last month of games, 3rd down had been a real problem for Wisconsin. They've already converted, though, their first 2, and they'll get 3 yards here.
Controlling his alignment tonight on the back end.
Coach Henry trying to make him that free hitter in a Wisconsin run game that has been prevalent in these last couple of weeks with Carter Smith. Got an I formation in the backfield. They're going to give it to the fullback, Jackson Aker, and he pushes forward across midfield and the line to gain. And so now first play from scrimmage from Illinois territory. Carter Smith to the air once again, got it complete. It's Lance Mason, the tight end. Carter Smith perfect through the air thus far, 3 of 3, 34 yards. And now a first down carry for Dupree, and he will continue to keep this offense on schedule.
That continuity matters.
Tretch Kahuna was lined up in the backfield. They're going to send him out. They wanted to get him, looked like on a route, but instead it's Mason coming underneath. Jackson Aker, fullback, tight end, kind of do it all, everything in the backfield with Carter Smith. Design QB run there, and Illinois is able to stuff that up after a gain of 2. Field with Darrion Dupree in the pistol behind Smith. And Gardner Smith's going to take this one down. Had some man coverage there. Got a back turn to him, and he took it. Going to go for a first down inside the 10-yard line. Jeff Grimes dialing up a terrific drive here on this opening possession for the Wisconsin offense, and it's another design run for Carter Smith, trying to follow his blockers close to the 5-yard line. They'll mark him down at the 6. Be a gain of 2.
They don't necessarily have to overreact to them in spaces quickly.
Gonna hand. Oh, got a little play action. Another one of that eye candy, and it's Vinny Anthony who will take the rock and take it for 6. Touchdown, Wisconsin. So Nathaniel Vakos on for the extra point. He puts it through. Friday, the Division I champs, biggest classification in the state, goes to Arrowhead in a dramatic game there. A lot of fun to see some of the high school football fun. Vinny Anthony 6-yard touchdown run. And so Luke Altmaier will have a little QB keeper on the read option, and around the edge he goes. Knocked out of bounds by Mason Posa. Caden Fagan in the ball game at the running back spot for Illinois. Altmaier, a little quick play action, but that ball nearly picked off by Ricardo Hallman. UNC have had more among Power 4 teams the last couple of weeks. And Altmaier again kind of felt a little pressure there and tried to take off, but that hole closed up quickly. Five or more sacks in each of the last 2 weeks, and would love to pin their ears back here on a 3rd and long. Altmaier, pretty good protection, gonna go over the middle and got it complete. Looked like there was maybe some eye manipulation there too with the safety Matt Young. And Altmaier was able to fire it into Clement, looking to take to the air again. A little pressure from behind, able to get it off. Got it, first touch for Hank Beatty. And a fresh set of downs now for Altmaier. And wanted to go back to Colin Dixon, able to spin out of a potential sack, and Altmaier will run it down. Just Reiger's been putting pressure on quarterbacks all year. This is going to be a run from Caden Fagan. Fagan in motion with Beatty also in the backfield. Looks like that's where Altmaier wanted to go. Eventually does get a little bit of a block from Fagan. Barry Lunny to get the 255-pound Fagan maybe out in front as a blocker for Beatty. And now a 3rd down. Altmaier just kind of sidearms that one. Going to be close. Gets it to his tight end Cole Rusk, and we've got flags out. So we'll check on those and see if that spot would give him a 1st down. Oh, the pass interference looks like it's going to go against Illinois. Going to be close on field goal range too. So see if that's where Barry Lunny tries to go here to just get a couple of yards, and they do. They go right back to Cole Rusk, and he gets more than a couple. Perfect from this range this year, which of course is the kiss of death.
I think that's on us. Did we take credit for that? The announcer jinx? Did we do that?
Well, Carter Smith does have a baseball background. He's kind of got middle infielder hands right now with what he's been asked to do in terms of the ball handling with this Wisconsin offense as we head down to the field with Danny Rogers.
After the Badgers' last touchdown, the O-line hurried over to the bench, and when O-line coach A.J. Vlasic joined him, the O-line gave him the silent treatment. Think of the scenario in baseball when the dugout acts like they didn't see the rookie's homer, and then they finally gave in. The entire O-line erupted, and Coach Vlasic really emphasized that drive being 16 plays and being able to move the sticks on 3rd down.
A rhythm, and as Danny mentioned, have a little fun with it too. So here's Carter Smith on a big 3rd down, and he sees some green in front. Gonna try to take it, but a tremendous and a big-time tackle there to force the punt from Sean West. Hank Beatty back to receive inside his own 20, pushed it way back, but got a chance to return this one. Got some blocks out in front, and Hank Beatty still on his feet. Beatty cutting back inside across the 35, stays in bounds. Eventually knocked out by the long snapper Nick Levy with some really good field position from their own 45 after a 28-yard punt return by Hank Beatty. Although this 1st down run by Khalil Valentine is closed up quickly by the senior Darrell Peterson. Well, you want to talk about a player who has pride in this place here at Wisconsin. It is Darrell Peterson, who spent his whole career here in Madison, a big-time player, and now it's 17 on the other side. 24-yard grab for Dixon. Altmaier on first down, got some heavy pressure. Another near interception, Brandon Lane. And he's certainly done that. Big pass deflection there, near interception. Now on second down, they'll run it with Khalil Valentine. Good run. Sacks have been a bit of an issue for the Illini offensive line, especially in their losses. 2 for 4 on third down, third and short. Little RPO slide run, looked like to Cole Rusk, the tight end, and that'll pick up about 8 yards before he gets second and short now for this Illini offense here in the red zone, trying to put some points on the board. And it's Luke Altmaier on the keeper. Altmaier will run into the end zone. Got a nice block downfield as well as Altmaier goes in untouched. David Alano, extra point is good. On Nebraska, game that certainly has a different feel than maybe we thought it might at the beginning of this season for Penn State.
I don't know what kind of saw is bigger than a buzz saw, but I'll go with that for the Buckeyes.
Fair enough. Got a full house backfield for Wisconsin right now. Grover Bortolini is in. Jackson Aker gets the carry, and Aker will go for a first down to open this drive successfully for the Badgers. Carter Smith, little pressure early, tries to get out of it. He will initially, but cannot escape. Most by any Illini head coach in their first 5 seasons. Knows how to build consistency. As Tretch Kahuna on that Illini staff, but has been a nice boost for those running backs for sure. So Carter Smith here on third down, gonna get stopped and bottled up a yard shy. So Luke Fickell does not succumb to the peer pressure from the fans here inside Camp Randall. Sends Sean West out for his second punt of the game. First one went 58 yards. Hank Beatty back deep to receive. And that one bounces into the end zone. In at running back for the first time today, and he will get this carry. Lawfrey. Hard run will go for about 2 yards. Second down for Altmaier. Quick throw gets it out. Hank Beatty right at the sticks. And Illini does have all 3 timeouts. Been a nice second quarter here. 123 yards thus far as Lawfrey gets another carry, makes one miss, and Lawfrey gets brought down by Mason. Second down, good protection for Altmaier. Oh, another one that nearly gets into the hands of a Wisconsin defender off of that deflection. Close to a potential big man interception. Now a big third down for the Illini. Got some pressure, Illini. Hey, got it complete from Altmaier. We do have a flag down. Hudson Clement comes up with the reception in Wisconsin territory. That came down in the area of holding, and Luke Altmaier does not like the potential call.
Offense number 74.
But if they can hold on third down, that'll pay off the decision.
More pressure from Reiger. Gets to Luke Altmaier. Mason Reiger with his 5th sack of the season, and a big one for this Badger defense. Get a new guy to kind of adjust themselves to the culture that's already been established. Said that Reiger brought his culture to this Badgers team, and that punt is shanked. Bounces at the 48, and that's where it is down. Hunter Simmons is in at quarterback here in these final 50 seconds. He's been more of the natural passer for the Badgers. We did see that when we were last here. Looked pretty good in warm-ups when we were down on the field earlier. Simmons, empty backfield. Got it complete to Eugene Hilton. That ball might have bounced around a little bit, but Hilton able to reel that thing in, and they'll go tempo now, Ant.
Aaron Henry, the Illini defensive coordinator, he did tell us he expected to see both Wisconsin QBs.
Pretty good protection. It eventually breaks down because of Gabe Akis. Quarterbacks for Wisconsin combined 7 for 8 so far in this game. Simmons with pressure right up the middle. Ends up hitting the official. 47-yard attempt. And Vacos puts that right down the pipes. Since week 2, which is the last time that they had a halftime lead, and we'll try to preserve that here. That kick goes to find another spark amidst some of the struggles this season again. And Khalil Valentine will take the handoff. Stop for no gain. Mason Reiger, second only to Mikhail Kamara and Dennis Sutton in terms of pressures amongst Big Ten defenders. He's been really good. Cade Giacomelli fielding the second half kickoff and a nice return out just past the 35 to open this half. Danny, thanks very much. Handoff goes to Darrion Dupree, part of a 3 running back recruiting class for Luke Fickell that included Gideon Atuka, who had been the lead back the last couple of weeks but suffered the injury last week against Indiana, out today. Gabe Akis, the big-time edge rusher,
to make the tackle at the line of scrimmage.
Pressure! Gabe Akis off the blind side of Carter Smith. Strip sack. Let's see who comes up with that loose ball. West out to punt. And a high punt from West will force a fair catch from Beatty at the 25-yard line. Got the big back, Caden Fagan, right next to him. And Altmaier on the move, trying to get out of the grasp of Sebastian Cheeks. He does, but has to just
explain. No, it was just kind of a mush. Not a punch, but a mush.
And mush is kind of the way to describe that run game. Again, a little pressure. Altmaier going to step up. Has some green in front. He's going to take it down. Gets away initially and will spin forward across the line again. That was Austin Brown who had a shot at him before he got that first down yardage. Altmaier again has that one knocked down and perhaps nearly picked. Posa so good for this Badgers defense the last 4 games. And Altmaier pressured and gonna go down, but it looks like he got just beyond the line of scrimmage. So a third down conversion earlier in the drive. Now another 3rd and long. Altmaier settles, connects with Caden Fagan, but brought down by Mason Posa, well short of the line to gain. Great instincts from Mason Posa. That's one thing that Luke Fickell told us this week. They thought they were getting when they recruited him, and the fact that it's really showing up each and every time out has been so impressive for such a young player. But Wisconsin in there close. And hold a 3-point lead over Illinois right now into the 3rd quarter. Carter Smith on the run, heavily pressured, as Danny mentioned. So 2nd and 10 for Carter Smith. Handoff goes to Darrion Dupree. He's got a hole. Dupree, a step back. Dupree, green in front, getting some blocks downfield. Darrion Dupree will score. Touchdown, Wisconsin. And we'll count on Vacos to make it a 10-point lead here. Vacos comes through, longest play from scrimmage for Wisconsin. The first since Towie Walker did it against Northwestern a year ago. And the kickoff will go through the end zone. It's got to feel good now for Wisconsin, trying to capitalize on that momentum here on the defensive side. Altmaier is going to be sacked. Darrell Peterson on senior day gets another. 7-yard loss on Peterson's 2nd sack of the night, 3rd for the Wisconsin defense. Altmaier, quick throw, gets it out to Khalil Valentine. Another 3rd down as this Camp Randall crowd is on its feet, and Peterson applying the pressure once again as Altmaier's pass falls incomplete, intended for Justin Bowick. Keelan Cremens, little low snap there, but able to get it off. High punts. Tyrell Henry works his way underneath it, and good coverage by the Illini.
Big as those interior defensive linemen are, they press the gaps as well.
So Dupree follows up his 84-yard touchdown run with a gain of 4. We'll set up a 2nd down and 6. Taking a look at what the Wisconsin defense has done. 5 or more sacks each of the last 2 weeks, 14 the last 3 games, which is right up there in terms of the most that we've seen from any team in college football, behind only UNC and Texas. And again, some of that eye candy there, but Carter Smith fakes that give to Tyrell Henry, coming around the edge, takes it right up the middle.
So we're not seeing the same degree of penetration right now. It looked like Aaron Henry, the defensive coordinator for Illinois, on the previous series, he wanted to try to see if he could speed up the process of Carter Smith by getting some more bodies working toward the line of scrimmage, penetrating into the backfield. They got gashed with a chunk run. So right now, he's got more defenders laying back again, as they did throughout much of the first half, not pressing the issue as much.
Wisconsin offense looking for their first third down conversion since the first quarter. And Carter Smith going to try to do it on the ground. And he does, falling down, but a flag comes out.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the offense. Holding, number 11, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, face mask, number 11. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
3rd and 15. And again, going to try to run it with a design QB run that went nowhere. The Illini defense, led by Gabe Akis, able to come up with the stop. Going to be a loss of 2.
That's where a penalty means so much to this Wisconsin offense, just for where they're at in their development. I mean, we highlighted now 4 different starting quarterbacks, but then some of those injuries in the backfield as well. Gideon Ituka, Dylan Jones, Cade Yakimelli. So they've been banged up in a number of different spots. The penalty setting them back. They're not in a position where it's easy to recover.
Sean West, low punt. It's going to bounce just inside the 40. Right, following that season. So that was the last tie right there. 3-3 between these 2 teams as Aiden Lawfery gets the carry. Just his 3rd of the game as he splits time with Khalil Valentine and Caden Fagan.
So for right now, a number of the backup defenders on the defensive line are in the game. This, if I'm Barry Lenny Jr., this is where I try to attack with the drop back pass while you've got a moment.
Gonna be a little play action there quickly as Altmaier, long throw, got it complete. Justin Bowick comes up with his first catch of the game.
And Wisconsin's backups are talented as well, but they're not Darrell Peterson and Mason Reiger and JVR Suggs and Ben Martin.
That's right, trying to give those guys a little bit of a rest. Gain of 11 there on that completion from Altmaier. Lawfery again with the carry. He's going to get 2. And now back comes Suggs and Barton on the interior.
And honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised. I would think tempo could have even been considered there so that you can take advantage and not allow them the chance to rotate. Now the starters are back in.
It's a good thought. Altmaier, good protection, going to take a deep shot, looking for Colin Dixon, trying to come back to the ball, and does. Makes a terrific adjustment there with Ricardo Hallman all over him. But Dixon able to come back, and now they are going to go fast. Gain of 37.
Hallman looking back for the football. Looked like maybe the nose just brushes the ground a bit.
And now from the 21 to 1st and 10. And Altmaier, design QB run here, going to keep it. Had a chance to give it, but made the right choice and got 7 yards.
I feel like we continue to call it an underappreciated part of Luke Altmaier's game. So at a certain point, I think everyone does appreciate his mobility and the speed that he can turn the corner with. Because off that mesh point, Mason Posa is late to react because he was thinking the ball was inside. And that's where that ball handling really comes into play, where you have to respect the run.
Looked like maybe there was some initial confusion on the call on Posa's part as he was looking back towards his fellow freshman Cooper Catalano, who does wear the green dot for the Badgers. And a first down run from Aiden Lawfery will bring the Illini inside the 10.
So now having 1st and goal from inside the 10, this is where the Illini have been really impressive once you get not only into the red zone, but inside the 10. Because it can be so tough to try and find space once you get down here. And there's not a lot of real jump ball targets to try and have a matchup one-on-one. But Barry Lunny and Luke Altmaier, they've been really effective throughout the season at creating space with misdirection and mobility.
28 red zone touchdowns this season for the Illini. Altmaier scored on a QB run back in the first half, and Hank Beatty has this reception quickly. We see that from Beatty a bunch, kind of moving horizontally and close to the line of scrimmage, just his 4th catch of the evening.
And part decoy, part pass receiver, part playmaker. He certainly fills a number of roles, and he's been in this offense for years now, former quarterback at the high school level. We've seen him throw passes as he's been here within this Barry Lunny offense as well. Love the pursuit that Wisconsin has going right now.
2nd and 6. 2nd and goal from the 6. Altmaier around the right side on a design QB run with blockers out in front, but couldn't get a hold of Mason Posa, forces Altmaier out of bounds. It'll bring up a 3rd and goal as Wisconsin tries to close the gap here, or it says Illinois tries to close the gap here on Wisconsin and make this a 1-score game.
And that's where the pursuit that I referenced for Wisconsin wanted to be a controlled aggression. But from outside the 5-yard line, there is a moment to react as a linebacker to get yourself back in position to aid the tackles. But the inside of Wisconsin's defensive line, they've got to make sure that that Illini offensive line isn't able to peel up to the next level on a run play.
Altmaier has the ball on 3rd down. Pressure, tries to get it quickly to Bowick. Falls incomplete, some exasperation on the part of Altmaier. Alano, 24-yard field goal attempt. From the right hash, no doubter. And the kick, a high one, into the end zone, and another touchback. And the give's gonna be to DeKel Crowdis, the receiver, who comes around on another one of those end arounds that we've seen a couple of times. Vinny Anthony scored on one back in the first half. We've seen Tretch Kahuna take one, so a gain of 12 now. They're doing it with multiple bodies.
And with that action that's going to come across the formation, the defense has to honor Carter Smith, and so it forces you to delay. That hesitation for just a moment is what allows DeKel Crowdis to be able to turn the corner.
Yeah, but going back to the schedule for Wisconsin, well, how about that for November? 3 straight games against ranked college football playoff teams. The Illini ranked 21st in the committee's most recent installment of rankings. And now Carter Smith on 1st down gets flushed out. Running to the sideline, is able to connect with Jackson Aker. And that'll be a gain of 6.
Some impressive footwork there for the 250-pounder. Carter Smith kind of ran himself into trouble a little bit, but yes, just narrowly inbounds is the left foot of Jackson Aker. Fullback, / tight end, / running back, / motivational speaker.
There you go. Jump one last time. And on a 3rd down, a terrific play design, little misdirection, and a completion. Dupree remains in the game. It's going to be a little trickery, a little reverse pass. Nearly completed. Lance Mason couldn't hold on to it, got hit. Pressure on the play there from Tanner Heckel coming in on Carter Smith after the reverse pass, and Darrion Dupree, more traditionally, will...
Been hungry to see grow. And when you miss a little bit of time, even as a running back, it's one thing to know where the play is designed to go, but to be in the action, to be in the fight, and have to react under leverage.
Another 3rd down opportunity on this possession for Wisconsin. Completed pass to Tretch Kahuna goes nowhere. Tanner Heckel again in on the stop, and now a decision that it looks like Luke Fickell has already made. It's going to be a punt. Atticus Bertrams will punt it away.
The eyes of Carter Smith out there the entire time, so that actually leads the defense in that direction. You referenced earlier, Rhett, some of the eye discipline shown by Luke Fickell to manipulate certain levels of the opposing defense. It's a little different as a young quarterback just making his second start.
And the flag comes out on the punt by Bertrams, which bounces back and kicked essentially out of bounds by the long snapper Nick Levy, but there is a flag here. It's the Bielema, yeah.
I mean, just at the last moment, he wasn't going to have an opportunity to bend down and get it with his hands, but just to stop it from rolling into the end zone.
2-yard line there.
There are 2 fouls on the play, both on the kicking team. Illegal formation, 5 in the backfield. That penalty is declined. Illegal kick, number 46 of the kicking team. That 10-yard penalty is enforced from the previous spot. Still 4th down.
Badgers to try to touch it down, but get called for the penalty, and now the repunt from West. Hank Beatty muffs the punt, but is able to recover. Son of Guy and Alyssa Haberman, born last week, and I was told he took a 3-hour nap right before kickoff so that he could stay up for the entire game, which is impressive that they've one-score games. That has kind of been a staple of the Brett Bielema era here at Illinois. Hank Beatty comes up with a grab. Seen some of those explosive plays that he's able to make with the ball in his hands. On a 1st and 10 now for Altmaier. Got some pressure again. Gonna let one loose. 4th in the Big Ten in receiving yards, 4th in all-purpose yards. And Caden Fagan gets the late handoff from Luke Altmaier on that mesh, which was the starting linebacker coming into the season. Played through a broken hand against Ohio State. Had a few reps against Indiana last week. More extended play this week for Mike Tressel, the defensive coordinator, who's got a call here on 3rd down now. And Luke Altmaier is sacked once again. Hat trick for the senior. Darrell Patterson, his 3rd sack of the night.
Formationally, they tried to set up a release, but Darrell Peterson ends up getting home using power this time. But the reason he had time to get home was because of the coverage on the back end. It's a defensive line that's certainly been able to take this game over at various times throughout the night, but the coverage at the 2nd and 3rd level is what made that one happen. That was a coverage sack.
A couple of times now we've seen Luke Altmaier double clutch. Bad snap again, and this time the Wisconsin punt return unit is there. Charlie Jarvis comes up with the stop after the snap could not be corralled by Keelan Crimmins. A couple of times tonight, Lane Hansen has been a little bit low with the snaps for the Illini punt team, and Jarvis was there to pounce.
You're all over it, Rhett. There have been multiple long snaps that have been low and difficult to handle. This one, Crimmins couldn't come up with. Yeah, the rush going either way from Jarvis. Huge turn of events for the Badgers, now able to get their offense on the field in the red zone.
Think of the awareness there, too, for a player like Jarvis, right? So many times you're focused on your guy. Get your guy blocked for the return. You don't see the ball leave the punter's foot. He does. He's there to capitalize on the Illini mistake. And now, from inside the 15, Carter Smith will try to pad the Badger lead. A couple of yards there on 1st down. Danny?
Wisconsin freshman linebacker Mason Pozo was just taken to the locker room to be evaluated for an upper body injury. I saw him favoring that left hand. He's questionable to return.
Okay, Danny, that is an impactful loss if it is extended for the Wisconsin defense. But again, Christian Allegro, plenty experience to come in, and that's kind of the benefit of getting some of these guys back from injury and having that depth that has been developed now with the freshmen Catalano and Posa. 2nd down, and we've got some flags here.
False start. offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, second out.
So he called that one on Riley Maltman. It did seem to me that there was a little indecision on the snap itself. So you had some players moving, some players not moving. Carter Smith trying to time up the motion.
Well, that's the thing. It looked like that was going to set up for disaster if that play had gone off without the false start, because the motion in was definitely a little bit off in timing. And so now you move back to the 16-yard line in a 2nd and 12. Carter Smith, plenty of time on the rollout, will rush out to his right, and will just take that one out of bounds. Might lose one or two. That's maybe where a more experienced quarterback kind of lets that one rip to avoid losing any yardage once he's out of the pocket.
And Red, he had Jaden Ballard available for him coming across the formation. He's going to start here and just work easy through a route with it. Initially an easy release and then stems the defender. He's wide open there towards the corner, but Carter Smith never sees him because initially the misdirection, his reads are short. But eventually your eyes as a QB have to see after it's not there short, maybe you've got a touchdown opportunity.
Ballard, the transfer from Ohio State, limited opportunities this year. Sure did want that one. 3rd and long now for Carter Smith. Got it complete. Touch Kahuna. He's got some room. First out of bounds right at the line to gain. Let's see how, and it is going to be a first down. Kahuna, gain of 14. Huge play for Wisconsin, forced out by Eckel. And he'll set up a 1st and goal.
And it was a jump pass from the youngster Carter Smith. He wasn't completely sure if he could see where Kahuna was. Leapt into the air to make sure he was getting the trajectory on the ball that he needed to deliver it accurately to his playmaker.
Flexing on him for the celebration is Kahuna. And now we've got a direct snap situation. Darrion Dupree gets it from center. Dupree! Defender physically into the end zone for Wisconsin. Darrion Dupree, touchdown number 2, and Wisconsin has a 13-point lead as Nathaniel Vakos tries to put the extra point through to make it 14 points, and it is a 14-point advantage. Wisconsin having a day. Darrion Dupree has been a star for the Badgers today, an 84-yard touchdown, and then one where he had to showcase some physicality down at the goal line, has given Wisconsin a 2-score lead. He got him right there for that touchdown.
Decisiveness.
So Luke Altmaier, again, pressure in his face, does get that off and complete. It's Hank Beatty with another grab, but Altmaier just under assault all night long and limping a little bit. Gain of 10 on the completion, and they'll go fast.
They've got no choice but to go tempo, and their quarterback looks a bit hobbled right now.
Altmaier got it complete. Justin Bowick makes another grab, his 2nd of the night, and that'll move the sticks once again on a gain of 13.
The Illini offense has had some nice moments this season when they've gone tempo. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen it sprinkled in more in this game.
Quick throw. Got it complete. Beatty has come up with a couple of grabs as of late here for the Illini. Gain of 6. They'll keep the tempo rolling. It's working right now as Wisconsin brings in some substitutions.
And as Illinois is going tempo, it can be tough to sub. Illinois actually didn't substitute on their end on that play. So I was thinking maybe you'd see Josh Cruz go with the quick snap.
Pocket collapsing again, but Altmaier able to let loose. That one goes out of bounds. So it'll bring up a third down just across midfield. And you're clearly in 4-down territory here if you're Brett Bielema.
Right, there's no doubt about that. And, you certainly don't want a miscommunication as you're going tempo, but this is an offensive line that's been in these situations. Certainly with a quarterback and receivers who've been through this before. The tempo aspect of this, they can operate at a high level.
So you wonder if they are in 4-down territory here for Bielema, whether that affects the play call here from offensive coordinator Barry Lunny Jr. Pressure off the edge has Altmaier stepping up and trying over the middle again for Beatty, but that one falls incomplete. Offense clearly staying on the field. 4th down has been pretty advantageous for the Illini so far this year. They're 12 of 16. That's a 75% success rate.
Well, depending on how much the defense believes Luke Altmaier isn't as mobile right now, the fact that he's limping around, you're not as concerned with him taking off and running to pick up this 5 yards.
Massive situation. Altmaier pressure, gonna go down. Christian Allegro, the junior linebacker, back into the lineup with a more extended snap count, makes a huge play for the Wisconsin defense to turn it over on downs. And Carter Smith, Darrion Dupree, the Wisconsin offensive line will try to grind some clock here. Danny?
You were a Big Ten receiver, Rhett. I mean, you ever break your hand and stay on the jugs machine?
No, did not. Oh, ball on the ground. But Darrion Dupree able to reach out with one paw and bring that back into his body. And they're going to give it to Tretch Kekahuna again on the end around, and Kekahuna! First down and more out of bounds, but a huge gain for the Badgers.
Trying to move him against his will, also to out-leverage, to outflank the defense is what we're seeing.
Oh, to try it again with the receiver getting the run. Handoff, Darrion Dupree puts his shoulder.
Bringing in guys in the transfer portal.
Darrion Dupree, another carry. Nathaniel Vakos is on to make this a 3-score game from 32 yards. Vakos is good. And the kickoff from Vakos will sail once again into the end zone.
Running down on the kickoff covered team, getting double teamed. A lot of times guys aren't too thrilled about getting double teamed. I don't know.
I mean, a little frustration, sure, but
I guess that was.
Got to maintain composure when your team is up here.
Okay.
Altmaier got it complete. Quick throw out to Caden Fagan, who makes tackle miss. Ball goes on the ground, but again, the Illini are able to come up with the recovery. So Fagan puts it on the turf. Colin Dixon able to recover it and actually gives him a few extra yards. Gamir Latimer is the one who forced it out. It'll go for 19 yards now into Badger territory.
That's what you get from pursuit. Of course, some tempo being shown here by Illinois.
All right, Altmaier again going to try to mission accomplished tonight for Daryl Peterson. That's what he told us coming in, and more pressure on Altmaier.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 58, 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. Down counts, it's 3rd down. That is 58's first unsportsmanlike toward disqualification.
Well, the rush that was there from Mason Reiger initially forced Luke Altmaier to climb the pocket, and then from there,
more pressure. It's Peterson again, Reiger, and Altmaier just has to throw it away. Wisconsin has lined up their defenders, a couple of safeties and linebackers way back by the line to gain. Another flag flies.
Live ball, unsportsmanlike foul, number 58 of Illinois. That player is ejected from the game. The penalty is declined. The ball is turned over on downs. 1st and 10, Wisconsin.
So Melvin Priestley disqualified. was his second unsportsmanlike penalty. And here comes Carter Smith with a 1st and 10. Chris Brooks, the receiver in motion, will lead block for Darrion Dupree. 2:40 and counting on the clock. Carter Smith, design quarterback run.
You want to show out on senior day. Darrell Peterson has certainly done that.
3rd down run, 1st down for Wisconsin. And Darrell Peterson, one of 31 seniors running out onto the field pregame, honored. Parents here to celebrate a fantastic finish, home finish for Darrell Peterson's career. You know, there just isn't many of these, you know, a senior night where, you know, so many times with today's landscape of college football where you see guys who maybe just played their final season at one stop, but Darrell Peterson has been here at Wisconsin and gets to be celebrated in front of these fans as the Badgers will move to back-to-back home wins against Big Ten opponents for the first time since 2022, taking knees now.
We're being told by Wisconsin, first time since 2021, the Badgers have had multiple wins versus a top 25 opponent in the same season. We know what this year has been for Luke Fickell. Chris McIntosh came out recently and said he will return as our coach next season. There will be investment in this program in more ways than one. And week after week, this is a team that is showing they're responding to their head coach.
Another knee there from Carter Smith. Second win against a college football ranked team in the last 3 games. As you're starting to see some of the depth players come in and seniors getting a chance to take the field at Camp Randall one last time. Some substitutions on the offensive line. And that'll do it. The clock winding down, the Badger fans winding up. 2nd straight time at home at Camp Randall. The Badger faithful has been able to celebrate a win on the field with a team that has found some spark amidst a season full of struggle. And will finish the home slate winners of 2 in a row.